And hopefully you will enjoy the upcoming game as much as we do. It is the current state of the bracket right here. Almost here. Wonderful, Carson. You did that very, very well. Both lost their opening matches, but had a good run through the play-ins. So let's see who prevails and makes it into the round of 6 versus Soen. It's Russia versus China, HawK versus 15 Sway.
All right, Mr. Demo Man, Last Refuge, a recently, slightly, barely updated map, but not so much an updated strategy so far. It's Tavern Hero. Hasn't this fallen a little bit out of favor? I know I've been away a while, but I swear Beastmaster was not so common anymore.
Yeah, Beastmaster was taking over the meta here by storm, so much so that almost all humans vetoed the map for a while. Then they adjusted by, upon scouting the Beastmaster, not going for the expansion, but rather a 1-base tech, followed up with a tier 2 rifle push with a Blood Mage, which looked pretty devastatingly strong, where the Night Elves then decided to stop playing Beastmaster, go back to Keeper. But then after a while they figured out they can also deal with that push if they adjust a little bit, going more for Quill Beast and early fights and so on. And now we're back to Beastmaster once again.
It's a full circle. It's just like irony. You just end back up at always where you began. And the Ancient of War is in between two camps currently. This is, of course, the reason why Beastmaster could be so strong on this map is because it's just so easy to power creep. This is, I think, the most creep-dense map in the pool, even, I think, with just so many camps really within one screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 almost in the same screen. The Beastmaster can go from camp to camp to camp if he doesn't decide to just harass right away, which, of course, is always an option. We'll see what HawK does in reaction to this. The Footman, not scouting, though, is standing by the mercenary camp to pull that himself.
The camp has been changed a little bit. I always hold my breath for a second if the footy gets ensnared, because if it does, oh boy, is it bad. And it's almost GG already. And he steals the Shadow Priest away from HawK. Sneaky, sneaky. The Wisp will have to be sacrificed, but does so in an explosive manner, dealing some damage to the Watch Elemental. Oh, and the Abolish comes in. Follow up. The Watch Elemental has been eliminated. And that's a lot of damage on HawK's side. That's a painful start.
I also love that he waited to pick up the Beastmaster before he abolished that, so he got that 42 experience, and now he's going to go straight into the mercenary camp, going to have double priests. And not looking too bad. It's been a small exchange, but this chaos has forced HawK to take a little bit of damage on all of his peasants, a little bit of damage on that one footman from that pole, but he gets the Flute of Accuracy, which is quite the excellent item.
Yeah, I like the confidence that HawK is showing here. Like I mentioned, many humans nowadays, upon seeing the Beastmaster, would be deciding not to go for the fast expansion, but here he didn't even scout with the footy and just said, whatever, it doesn't care what you do, I can play my fast expansion and pull it off, however aggressive and threatening you might be, and that Beastmaster certainly can be threatening. Bonus mana from the Rover of the Magi is excellent for him. Also, he can min-max the Moonwell juice with that. The big strength, of course, for the Beastmaster is he's strong, very strong here at the beginning with creeping, can get level 3 very early on and secure mercenaries for himself, and then can play a very high tempo early game once he gets that level 3.
Yeah, he's going to be getting that level 3 and that expansion you mentioned very, very soon. The Wisp is already here. The Footman scout, everything going on, though. Circlet is nice to fit this way as well. The Archmage on the side of HawK, though, gets Explosive Haste on level 3 himself, so it's going to be a 2-base game, it's looking like. The tree should be built pretty soon. There's Beastmaster level 3, and now these two players will most likely meet in the middle and will decide who's stronger currently. Berserker now picked up for 15 Sway as well, but Defend already online for HawK.
That's a super early defense, so that's an adjustment here against the Beastmaster specifically. Normally, we don't see it this early on, having to delay the expansion for a bit in favor of Defend, but it's going to be hugely helpful in any kind of aggressive move. Watch Elementals, though, can be dispelled pretty easily by the Shadow Priests, as we see here, while the Bash Bear, the Raging Bear, is trying to go after the Berserker. That's the big prize on the field. If he gets another Bash out, that could be the kill. Oh, 2 bashes in a row. And that's big experience. Oh! He misses.
Wait,
sound like a schoolgirl right there. Oh!
How did he miss? I don't know. Was it the vision? Was it the... I don't... How did he miss? What the hell? Surround now on the Beastmaster. What is going on right now?
And that one is going to be
Cloak.
getting held. The Cloak on the Archmage also coming into play. Can hold this around now. The Beastmaster is actually pretty tanky, it turns out, but the TP will be forced in the end. That might mean that the X-Will will fall. I think it does. Bear got the kill in the end. And just to get back to that miss chance, when a melee unit attacks and the backswing of the attack is taking too long and then the unit runs out of range, then it misses if it's out of range. Rarely seen, but he's here. We did. Big move now for HawK. Does he have the damage to take out the Tree of Life? Just with the footies, not with the Archmage.
Yeah, how many footmen will go down, though? The Bear, even though there is very early defend, you mentioned earlier, the Bear is still so good against the footmen. It's going to be at least 3, maybe 4 going down. Double bash Bear. Oh my god, so many footmen falling, but the cancel comes in. But what is this going to be? 4 or 5 footmen? Oh my god, level 4 in the Beastmaster already.
So much experience, dude.
Yeah.
It's a full mana, well, not quite, but close to it. Level 4 Beastmaster. That's dangerous. HawK got the cancel at least. He had to get it. But I think he over-invested into it. He is in trouble right now. What's he supposed to do for the next couple of minutes?
There's a Panda. I mean, 15 Sway just gonna run at him, right? Like, what else do you have to do? Okay, double summons, triple summons even. The footmen are not going to stand the test of time, and the attack is not even started. That's going to take a ton of time itself. Militia being called, but the Panda solves, and I don't know what HawK can do here.
These militias are just going to get turned into minced meat if they run in here. This is just way too much stuff right now. And this is the typical Beastmaster high tempo early game / mid game. He's got so much stuff, so much power. It's so hard to go up against this. And HawK, I think, is feeling the classic issue of playing against Beastmaster on this map. If you fall behind, man, you can be in big trouble.
Yeah, it perfectly resembles how you mentioned tempo play. If you make one mistake, if you overstay, you lose one fight, then all of a sudden it's like, how am I ever supposed to beat this hero, it seems like. It really all comes down to, you know, just a couple of footmen lost here. The Berserker lost in the base, the extra bash here and there. And now, looks like there was never a chance for HawK, who continues to lose peasants to the summons.
Trying to stabilize now with the mercenaries. The Bear, by the way, also fast attack speed, so you can always chase after the Archmage. A couple of bashes here are dangerous. We have a Mud Golem now, which can actually be a pretty big help with a couple of slows being thrown out. But in the meantime, the Bear and the Beastmaster barbecuing the peasants in the main. The Panda is already level 2 without any creeping. Look at the corpses here. Jesus Christ, it's a mass grave. It's not pretty. And the economy has completely been dismantled. And HawK is... I don't know if he's still got a chance in this one.
So much experience, like you mentioned, the Panda. The Beastmaster even on his way to level 5, and once he's got that Blink Bear, it's going to be lights out. Muddy, soon to fall. The Berserker not even being microed currently. That's even more experience. Mercenaries dying on both sides, but almost level 5 Beastmaster. The Bear is killing all the peasants in the main at the same time.
Oh my god, Call to Arms has to be used. More and more experience. This Bear is just so tanky. 900 HP. Couple of bashes every now and then. Are we gonna see the blinking, bashing beauty that is the Spirit Bear? We might.
Cool Beast goes into the base now. Call to Arms, but it's only one militia. Oh no. And that might be... Oh, that kill might be level 5 Beastmaster? No, it won't quite be.
And these 2 more peasants split between the 2 heroes, I think.
Yeah.
Or just anything, really.
Yeah, creep the screen, why not? The Panda's close as well. The expansion up to 15 Sway, and... HawK's tier... Oh, well, he is tier 2. Okay, pardon me. He's not as behind, but now there's Dryads, now there's level 5. There's soon to even be bears.
Misha! There she is! Misha comes in with a swipe. That's game. GG called. 1-0 for 15 Sway.
Oh, brother. What a raffle stomp. A little bit too much aggression from HawK. And yeah, you guys, you prophesized it. There was too much. He had nothing left on the field. 15 Sway had everything. Almost constantly having 2 bears up on the field. That was quite something. That was quite fast. That was quite dominant. The Bear is back on the menu.
Yeah, making people question why they ever didn't play Beastmaster on Last Refuge. Holy hell. Well, I guess that's why you don't expand, though. You don't play that game. You don't play the I'm going to mass footman and lose a ton, feed you a ton of experience, but at least I'll be up a base game. No, not at all. Get your priests out, get your Dispel ready, play it safe. Don't let the Beastmaster scale a ton. But HawK didn't do that there.
Yeah, I think even if he just plays it more passively and doesn't commit to the expo cancel, if he just gets like 6 footies with defend, creeps up, gets level 4, and gets like 2 or 3 Shadow Priests and a Berserker, then maybe can take a fight. But you can't just, you know, spend your time not creeping, falling behind in levels, and losing all your footies. That is then a death sentence.
HawK facing elimination, not the greatest day for him. 0-3 in the finals. How many peasants did HawK lose today? It must be in the triple digits by now. Rough. It won't work for HawK today. But maybe that was just the one odd Beastmaster map that was just way too sick. Let's see. Maybe he can turn it around. He got the fighting spirit in him. And definitely the talent to turn it. But 15 Sway is playing pretty good.
All right, so Autumn Leaves is map number 2. Not a map we've seen too commonly so far in this tournament. We'll see. It's a map that can work for Demon Hunter. It's definitely a map that can work for Keeper. And it's definitely a map that can work for fast expansions on both sides. So we'll see what they choose.
Worth noting here is we are playing on Autumn Leaves 2.0 as opposed to the older Autumn Leaves still uploaded on NetEase. Here especially, mostly creep camps have been changed, with, notable for this matchup and the early game, the corner expansions. The bigger creep camps, the outside gold mine, is quite a bit easier here, which enables Human to creep this as first camp much more easily. And I think that's the go-to that humans should look towards on this map. Much like on Northern Isles, it can be very strong for a human if you can instantly creep the natural and get level 2 and pick up a decent item. That is very similar, in fact, to Northern Isles, and one of the big reasons why the Night Elves there veto it. But however, of course, this map also has some big benefits for elves compared to Northern Isles, like you can, for example, fast expand here by creeping your natural first, looking for a bit of pressure with the Keeper, and then expanding behind it. It is indeed the Keeper against the AM.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, especially on the side of the human. I've been an advocate of the immediate top left or bottom right expansion with the Archmage on this map for a while, and the 3-farm expansion as well for a while. The Tide Hunter style, I think, should be played on almost every map. Get that expansion up as early as possible. This not only gets your economy rolling, gets your tech rolling quicker, but also stops the Night Elf from being able to harass you as actively because your expansion's already crept, your Arcane Tower is that much earlier, and the Keeper, of course, isn't just going to run straight over most of the time. The Keeper almost always is going to creep at least one camp, as we're seeing right now with that Ancient War, the expansion.
Yeah, precisely. It also protects you from another nifty thing Night Elf can go for. They like to go for a Merchant creep first, oftentimes, for example. And if you go for the Merchant creep as the Night Elf and the opponent, the human, is at the natural, you can get level 2 quickly and then be very close to follow up with an attack right after, which would be very different for a corner expo creep. But HawK is going for the green camp first. No instant expansion of any kind. The one or the other gold mine.
Does at least get lucky and gets the Claws of Attack on the Archmage. This way going to get Slippers of Agility. Wisp is there, scouted by a Footman. HawK calls Militia to go for not the corner expansion, but for the close expansions. Both players going to go for this, it seems like. Sway is going to go across the map with the Treants and going to be there on time to harass while HawK is creeping this. This is something ideally you don't want to have happen if you're the human.
Yeah, and you pointed out just a moment ago, if HawK had just gone for the instant expo in the corner, this timing wouldn't have worked out for the Night Elf at all. But he's trying to clean this up as well as he can without losing too much. So far, no peasants have died until now. That's the first one. That's a big kill as well. It's level 2 for the Keeper now. More mana. Probably doesn't want to use Entangle here. Treants, perhaps more effective. But the peasant losses are starting to hurt. More and more are going down. They are very frail. The Keeper has some bonus attack speed thanks to the Slippers. Another one going down. That one at least denied, but that hurts the early expansion play. And I'm sure HawK has a good reason for going for this creep route, but just on paper, it looks so much worse.
Yeah.
The corner expo.
Yeah, I'm in the same sort of frame of mind. Like, you know, I gotta give HawK credit. Like, you know, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but it just doesn't seem like it's as good as going for that immediate expansion. I say this time and time again. Now the mercenary's being picked up by 15 Sway. The expansion probably. Oh, he's got a water elemental. Might be cancelable. He's gonna lose a bunch of footmen again. But yeah, decent timing from HawK here at least.
The Merc pull timing from 15 Sway was also super on point. He got the mercenaries here. He dispelled one of the water elementals. This again is at the very least going to cost quite a few footies. So far, in fact, none of them have died. Wow,
Oh
6 saves on the footies, to be honest. Okay, HawK coming back, gets the cancel, loses 2 footies, saves 2 of them, but those 2 which were saved are very hard to get back into fighting shape.
Little interruption here, everybody, as we got a big €30 donation by Leoric. Thanks for all the streams in the past years.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Nice name as well. I dig the lifesteal that I get. I mean, even though I'm just on Catacombs level 3, I mean, I could kill King Leoric. I can get it. I can get that 10% lifesteal, and then, you know, I don't have to use as many pots. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. So shout out to you for that. Thank you for that 100% drop rate. No one's going to get that. No one plays Diablo 1 anymore. I'm the only one in the world that plays Diablo 1.
I never played Diablo 1 or 2, Carson.
Oh, no way. I can understand 1 because most people think it sucks, and there's not much to do. I just like it for nostalgia. But Diablo 2, I mean, oh my god, especially nowadays. It's so good nowadays.
Oh, that tower! Ooh, we almost saved it, but had to be cancelled in the end. Yeah, people keep telling me how amazing Diablo 2 is. I think I couldn't catch the wave, you know?
True,
I tried to play it like just a few years ago, but at that point, like for the first time. By that point, it just was quite outdated in many regards. I wasn't there in the pioneer days, you know? Tier 2 coming up, Hunter's Hall. Let's take stock of this game. How's this looking? Who's favored? Keeper's not level 3. Expansion was delayed. HawK is holding on. It's hard to tell for me right now what's going on here.
Yeah, I think, you know, those footman saves earlier, even though you said, you know, obviously they're out of the fight for a long time. When they're like 1 HP footman, you're not going to use them. But at least it delayed the possibility of Keeper level 3. The Keeper would be very close, if not already level 3 at this stage if HawK had lost those footmen. Oh, doesn't want to lose the Archmage. So at least now the footmen are able to live a little while longer, holding the pressure. And HawK is going to have an economic advantage. So maybe HawK, if he can stabilize here, doesn't lose too much more, maybe favored.
Keeper gets 1 more kill. He got another one off to the side there as well. He's almost now level 3. 1 more kill would do it. But also, the forces now for the Night Elf quite diminished. As is the case so often on this map, if both expand towards the middle, there's a lot of action inbound. And we've been seeing quite some kills here, haven't we? And 15 Sway is looking for more.
Almost 1 more entangle, but won't be used on the footman just yet. That will mean level 3. Oh, a militia kill would also mean level 3. So hopefully for HawK's sake, he doesn't feed any of that experience. That will be level 3 now on the Keeper. And plenty more mana. That could be... No, it will be level 2 entangle, of course, as is standard. Could have also been Treants. He's got 150 mana now, and HawK just hiding. Just hiding with the cloak. Poor Archmage. Oh, footman come back in. Unfortunate timing there.
What's the second hero here? I wonder. 15 Sway hasn't... There it is. Picks it now. It's the Panda second. Specifically on this map, also we see quite a bit of Naga because of how aggressive you can be. But of course the Panda is always going to do the best work for you in the late game if you do manage to get the levels. And starting off with a Merc Camp creep here right away, he's going to be quite happy about.
About a 1,200 gold difference in the expansions currently. But does that justify the losses that HawK has taken, not only to defend his expansion, but cancel 15 Sways once? It's probably about 1,200 gold in footman lost, in extra repair and towers lost at this stage, and in power build, of course. The Ancient of War are going to be safe, going to walk down to the shop in the Panda. Not getting a ton of experience, actually, from this mercenary camp, because he wasn't able to fully clean it up.
Yeah, just the water elemental there dissuaded him.
Yeah.
15 Sway was concerned perhaps that more follow-up would be coming in. Now, that might be the case. AM level 3, daring to go into the middle once again with decent mana and a handful of footies. But there is this thing called Entangle level 2. 15 Sway using it on a water elemental though. Kind of surprised about that. Could kill footies or force a TP, but he's more concerned with water spirits right now.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to go straight for the Archmage there. I think with an Entangle Breath combination, he could have, like you mentioned, forced that Town Portal. Could still do it, but there's no more mana for an Entangle. Maybe that Clarity could be used as soon as the Keeper's out of range of that being canceled. And Tree of Eternity almost done for 15 Sway. Soon there'll be a possibility of maybe a pseudo bear bust if that Panda can manage to squeeze together a level 3. And HawK just trying to scrounge some rifles. There's going to be Sanctums anytime soon. And in fact, no tech buildings yet for HawK.
We see the second hero joining once again. It is the Panda, Sinjo, throwing the ranks of the humans. Also benefiting nicely, of course, from the Brilliance Aura. One of the biggest benefits of having the Archmage. Would love to get that AM quickly to 4 as well, but that is going to be tough this game. Only barely scratched the level 3 surface. Would love to creep up a bit more here to get valuable experience and also take it away from the enemy Panda. The strength of the Panda in the late game can very well decide this game.
Oh, nice heal scroll there. Was very necessary, especially to save that Berserker, which could give a ton of experience to the Panda, getting him close to that level 3 you mentioned now. Forest Troll Warlord still up for grabs, but neither player really wants to overcommit for that currently. 15 Sway is waiting for his first couple of bears, which will be popping in a couple of seconds. And HawK finally getting those double Arcane Sanctums. No tier 3 tech yet. In fact, +2 on the rifles already. Wow.
With the dead summoned, and that's actually pretty nicely used right here. The Dryas don't have enough dispel to get rid of all of it right away. This gives some good presence to HawK in the middle of the map. Don't know if he can pressure all the way towards the opponent's Moonwells. Should perhaps use them to creep right now. There's another big camp in the middle available. It is at the lab with a big permanent item. This HawK is mustering up with more army and a fast tech. Tier 3 already queued.
It goes tier 3 as he starts to lose the fight. Almost loses the Panda, forced into a heal scroll there. The orb online. 15 Sway might abuse this timing that HawK is tacked at and just push.
Oh, the Panda seems to be a goner here. Level 1 hero drops. At least he's going to be back quickly. Not going to be benched for too long. I am one of the biggest advocates of tier 3 of human. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But you have to choose the timing wisely. And it seems to me HawK may have teched a bit too early.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit like when Night Elf chooses to tech against Undead at stages, and they choose to go into Bears from Mass Giants. It's almost kind of how HawK has to tech tier 3 here. He's got to have a strong enough army to defend this timing with Orb with the Bears, and then go tier 3 to eventually win the late game. But for now, Panda 3, Robe of the Magi, and this is a very strong Night Elf army, despite taking a little bit of poison damage here.
2 bears in the mix to try to crack this wall. Taking out the blacksmith would be a big deal. It would stop rifle production and upgrades, importantly, also for quite some time. But gonna fall back here. 15 Sway notices he is a bit too hurt and a bit too low mana, perhaps, to take this fight. As the rifles meet up with some militia ready to defend. And speaking of rifles again, their upgrades really looking good. 2-1 already, with soon to be Inner Fire.
Huh.
One of the best buffs in the game.
Interesting, yeah. Who needs Knights when you just go very quick Rifleman upgrades? The Lumber has been very healthy for HawK, luckily, so he's been able to prioritize those upgrades, and now he's going to have mortar teams on the way, and soon Castle, but the positioning, not great. The first Sorcerer's going to go down, level 4 finally on the Keeper.
That's so painful. That Sorcerer had at least 3 slows, maybe 4, and she gets taken out without casting a single one. That's one of the little things that can slip your mind, having the Sorceress in the wrong position, and that makes things so much tougher now. 1 new Sorceress now in the mix, but not that much mana, I guess. Heal Scroll had to be used already. Militia streaming in from the main, trying to do their best. Level 2 Breath from 15 Sway doing a good job. We have a Militia flank, actually, coming in from so many angles. How is there so many Militia?
What the
Police
hell?
have been called, and doing their best here to save the homeland. Panda for HawK once again, very low HP. Who's going to take this fight? It's hard to tell, but the backline DPS for HawK persists, while the Bears are starting to drop very low.
Yeah. HawK does a good job of trying to make this fight work, despite it being pretty much at the worst possible timing. Like, as soon as Tier 3 hits, 15 Sway fought right before Frag Shards, before the first Mortar Team was out, before Inner Fire, and of course before the third Hero, Orb, any of that stuff. So that was a great timing for 15 Sway to fight, and he kills a ton of Peasants. And that's going to hurt, I imagine, the Lumber, but there's still at least a few on Lumber currently. I thought that HawK even called, like, Gold Peasants there, but apparently that was all just Lumber Peasants. All right.
Archmage finally gets level 4. That's a big level up, but having lost the Panda earlier, even if it was only level 1, having been benched for 1 creep camp already puts him behind. He needs to get this red camp badly to get that level 3. The creep jack here could have been very well game ending, but HawK does get the camp and will soon pick up those big upgrades.
It could be a very, very nice item, of course. 15 Sway getting close to level 5 Keeper. And the Panda getting close to level 4 for 15 Sway. Gets Claws +9. Another Tree of Life coming up. And double Mana Potion on the Panda 15 Sway. Cloak of Flames is alright, I suppose. Not the greatest, but an interesting find.
Yeah, if you had a big frontline with Knights and Breakers to share the damage, I think this could be good. But the Panda is kind of the solo frontliner right now. He always has to fall back. He can't really stand there and deliver. Like the Archmage is trying to. Not known for being a great tank. Has to TP out. Everything should be in range. Oh, maybe not. Oh, 2 units getting caught. That hurts.
Ooh, can that Dryad in the front catch up? Nope, but the Mortar Team is the better of these two to find. Staff, possibly? Almost, not quite. And 15 Sway continues to get further and further ahead. Still 10 supply ahead and soon to be a base up.
And now 15 Sway getting ready with his own late game tech. Double wins with that soon Fairies. And with the third base, he could very well go towards 100 supply with 2-2 upgrades, maybe even more. And that's when things get extremely hairy for the human. It's so hard to micro perfectly against all that terror that can be raining down on you between Panda, Bears, Dryads, and Fairy Dragons, and maybe even Chims if the economy is out of control. As the Keeper is getting caught out of bounds, has to TP out. It's not like he's low on gold, though. Can afford to rebuy that right away, but that's the expansion cancelled. It's actually a big tactical moment for HawK, but he's still far behind. He needs to have a lot of big plays to come back into this game.
Absolutely, yeah, though that is a good start, and he probably also needs, in order to win a fight, maybe another heal scroll or even 2. So it was nice if 15 Sway to buy those from his shop. A couple last creep camps, at least on this side of the map, being taken by HawK currently, but it's still a full red. Still the nice orange consumable to the west of 15 Sway's base, as well as the whole top of the map. So potential for level 5 Panda, maybe level 5 Archmage on the side of HawK. So creeping could be valuable.
Looking for some reinforcements here. 15 Sway knows where the opponent is and is looking for easy pickoffs. There's one with the Rifleman. 3-1 upgrade on these rifles, but it seems like HawK doesn't quite get the army size together that he needs. And it's still so hard to micro these fights. If you had Knights or Breakers to create a front line, this would be so much easier. But it's only rifles and casters in some mortar teams. HawK is going to have to kite like a god to have a chance in these fights, while we have 15 Sway going into high upkeep. It's going to have such a huge army.
Yeah, and the Fairy Dragons finally pop. There's a ton of rifles, but if they're well positioned, it doesn't make much of a difference. Nice breath to start us off by HawK, but it's going to take a whole lot more to deal with the front line of bears that we have. Interfire and everything. The first Haze Fire is huge. The heal scroll, the only lone heal scroll already being used. Maybe HawK could get his back to the shot push and vulnerability going to be forced on the Panda. The town portal might be wise because the Archmage again trying to tank.
Got some kills here in the end, I guess. Makes it back home. Regen scroll is going to be wonderful. But again, 15 Sway didn't lose that much. He said 74 supply, still lots of gold. Lumber is a bit the issue here for him, so he can't easily set up that third base again, although Wiz is moving over. And that will be his intention. I guess the upgrades for HawK are starting to kick in. The damage is not to be underestimated, but still, the big difficulty for the Russian is to take these fights without getting clobbered to death.
Yeah, and he definitely needs heal scrolls, and he needs to take these fights be able to use his heal scrolls without 15 Sway just town portaling out before losing any bears. If you are investing 2 heal scrolls into every fight, but not actually trading units, that can become a real problem for HawK, especially when this Panda is going to start reaching level 5 for 15 Sway, and HawK is a little bit behind, about, half a level behind on his Panda.
The 2 Arcanes won't do too much to hold here at the expansion. HawK has to come over with his main force. Takes a while, but he'll get there. Archmage getting caught in front! Oh, HawK wasn't looking at his first hero. That could have almost been a TP force, or maybe even an invuln, but he wants to save that invuln for the Panda. Very important to have that on his frontline hero. Okay, HawK does rescue the economy. Still almost fully mining. We'll re-establish that momentarily. And, the closer we get to 80 supply, I'm not so hopeless about HawK's position anymore. If he targets well and kites, again, he's got crazy damage.
Absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned the lumber issue of 15 Sway continues to be a problem. Now goes to 89 supply, does 15 Sway, but he can't pull wisps because of this to detonate the inner fire. And if he did detonate the inner fire, fairy dragons are going to persuade HawK from ever being able to reapply it. So that is becoming more of a problem than just an economic problem.
You forgot about the Mortar group.
Oh no.
HawK!
Oh no.
Oh, that's a big mistake. He's still not noticing it. The third group has been forgotten. Now it's coming in.
He's just got a TP though. Look at the fairy dragons. Oh my god, a heal scroll from just the fairy dragons.
And the heroes again. Panda might be going down. There's no invo potion for him. And the bears find the swipes. That's the Panda going down. Big kill and big experience. 15 Sway's Panda makes a bit of more of a jump towards level 5 while his third base is finishing. Close to 100 supply, basically there now. And I think HawK is just... he's making these fights too tough for himself. As he has no frontline, it's so hard to get these engagements properly.
Alright, Panda back for HawK. He still has double mana pot, had a heal scroll there. Panda could have definitely lived, even had a staff to maybe use before the town portal. But there's so many bears. The fairy dragon's not as well positioned as they once were, but doesn't even matter. 94 supply for 15 Sway. The Panda almost level 5. The Keeper, in fact, almost level 6. Tranquility could be a big upgrade to get. HawK trying to kite as best he can, and he's doing a decent job, to give him credit, but there's just too much damage.
Dude, the Mana Flare didn't connect that much this time, but when they hit on the Sorks casting the slow, my goodness, is it terrifying. And the bears are still so healthy. 15 Sway still has heal scrolls to use, a TP to get out if necessary. He's finding so many kills in the chase. The Dryad slow here now, being worth quite a bit. So much damage, too much DPS. HawK's DPS was high, but he had to run, didn't have the uptime to gun down these knights. It's gonna be a GG, and HawK eliminated in the first round though.
Without winning a single map, unfortunately, here in the playoffs today. He looked hella strong in the play-ins last weekend. Couldn't transition into weekend number 2 where the big boys play. HawK out, Chemico out. I know someone in Cologne is already working on a new pie chart.
Oh no. We'll give him more ammo. We still have a kind of a half-human player here though.
True.
At least, right?
Very, very true. Damn, 15 Sway though. I feel like he's getting more and more consistent. This one WGL performance, okay, we were all hoping for, can he finally repeat that? Then he disappeared for a little while, but now consistent top 4, top 6 runs in tournaments and rarely having an off day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it shows in his play too that he has a very good understanding of the game, just not just the strategy, but he's got the mechanics down pat. And yeah, I guess it really comes down to him being so young, just how his mental state is in the deep runs of competition. If he can make it to the semifinals, quarterfinals, how consistent can he be in the later stages? But so far, he's shown no signs really of nervousness.
Damn, boys, I'm pretty hyped for what's next. We got 2 more matches for you guys in the one-on-one department, and that is both lower bracket round 2. We found the opponent of Soin, that is 15 Sway, and then we get the former LP Club battle of Focus versus Colorful. that might just be 2 Night Elf Orcs in a row, just like yesterday.
Love that matchup, though, so I'm not complaining at all. It's such a fun matchup to watch, as much as it pains me sometimes to watch the Orcs lose to an AP hidden next to their base 4 minutes into the game. It is a great matchup. I do think it's a relatively balanced matchup as well, in all honesty, especially at the top level. It's just such a pleasure to watch.
I fear a little bit for our champion Soin, whose matchup versus Night Elf is clearly not the best, as we've seen yesterday versus Lawlight, but it's time to bring the A game now. Let's hope for the excitement of the series that he was just saving strategies for today. It was of course hard to predict this very matchup, but yeah, that's the plan. Soin versus 15 Sway, Focus versus Colorful, and then the FFA Grand Finals, everybody. We're almost back on schedule, looking pretty good. And we are celebrating W3Champions here. Of course, you know it. W3Champions, the best platform in the history of this game. They feature Flow services. And yeah, Flow is the cat of one of the developers called Fluxu. And that's why we named all the servers after that very cat. 26 servers around the world. Great conditions for everyone and every possible matchup here. That also, all these servers have a reconnect feature in case you're on Wi-Fi or whatever area where there's not too great of internet. We got reconnect for you. And if you just want to observe games, we brought back WAC TV. We built a similar system than Dota TV or NetEase TV, and that's called Flow TV. If you see a match on the ladder that's of interest for you, just go onto Flow TV on that little client, hop on and observe the game with your own camera control and all. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful features. And if you want to help the W3 dev team and improve this even further, they're looking for developers. It's of course a non-profit project. Everybody is doing this for fun and for the sake of the community. They are looking for C# and .NET developers, TypeScript, jQuery, Rust, Vue, and Node. So if you're able to do any of this and you want to realize the automated tournaments, for example, or the achievement system, or you think something is missing, I can do that. I can provide that feature. Just let me get my hands on it. Reach out on that Discord to a guy called Cephid. He's the one go-to guy. Otherwise, all the mods there, all the admins are very, very good to talk to and will help you out and guide you into the right direction. The Discord can be found on W3Champions.com on the right-hand side, and I would love to have even more features on that beautiful server very, very soon, thanks to you guys out there.
Well done, Neil. Consistently impressed by that, by you being able to do that every time flawlessly.
Incredible. I'm a freaking god!
Yeah, a lot to remember, But you do it. You do it every time. You do it dozens of times. Hundreds of times. Maybe 100 times by now. It's been, what, 10 seasons? 10 seasons, 5 broadcasts each. You know, maybe 4 series each broadcast. You know, that's about 200 times you've done that almost now. Incredible.
And every single time is a pleasure because every single time I can add something new to the mix, and that's the most beautiful thing here. If you are not able to code but you think, I'm super mega ultra rich coming from the crypto market, I won for the past 9 months, I'm swimming in money, reward them with a little cash maybe to pay the servers. We are helping out paying the servers. The Chinese community is helping out paying the servers, especially Fly, Infi, and TH made a big donation from what I've heard. But you know, things are expensive, and maybe the W3Champ devs want a little cold one after a long evening of coding, and you can donate that one to them. Every single dollar helps. They also have a Patreon if you want to support that project for a longer time. So it's up to you guys. Check it out. W3Champions.com right hand side has all the information. The information that I can give you that our next match is 15 Sway versus Soin, and then Focus versus Colorful. We go into a little break and then we're right back with fresh new Warcraft action.